The apartment building at 447 Riverside Drive wasn't fancy, but it was home. Maya Patel had lived in apartment 3B for 2 years, working double shifts as a graphic designer to afford the rent while building her freelance portfolio. Her life was predictable, safe, and exactly the way she liked it. Until he moved in next door. It was a Tuesday morning when Maya first saw him, a tall man in worn jeans and a faded t-shirt, carrying boxes up the stairs to 3C No Moving Company, no fancy furniture. Just him and a few simple boxes. "Need help?" Maya offered, holding the door open with her hip. He looked up and Maya felt her breath catch. Dark eyes, strong jawline, and a smile that could melt glaciers. "I've got it, but thanks," he said, his voice warm. "I'm Alex Chen." "Maya, welcome to the building." She watched him disappear into his apartment, then shook her head. "Focus, Maya. You don't have time for distractions." Over the next few weeks, Maya and Alex developed an easy friendship. They'd run into each other in the hallway, share coffee on the fire escape, talk about everything and nothing. Alex said he was a consultant who worked from home. He was kind, funny, and seemed genuinely interested in Maya's dreams of opening her own design studio. "What about you?" Maya asked one evening as they watched the sunset from the roof. "What are your dreams?" Alex's expression darkened slightly. "I had them once. Now I'm just trying to figure out who I am without them." Maya wanted to ask more, but something in his eyes told her not to push. What she didn't know was that her neighbor wasn't just Alex Chen. He was Alexander Chen, CEO of Technova Industries, a billion-dollar tech empire. And he was hiding in her building for reasons that would soon turn both their lives upside down. 3 months into their friendship, Maya started noticing strange things about Alex. He never seemed to work, yet he paid rent on time. His consulting calls happened at odd hours, always behind closed doors. Once, she'd accidentally grabbed his mail, a letter addressed to Mr. Alexander Chen, CO Technova Industries. "You got some fancy mail," Maya joked, handing it over. Alex's face went pale. "It's nothing, junk mail." But Maya had seen the fear in his eyes. Meanwhile, Maya's own life was falling apart. Her biggest client, a tech startup, had just been acquired by Technova Industries. The new management wanted fresh blood and terminated her contract. 3 months of work, gone in a single email. "I hate corporations," Maya vented to Alex that night over cheap wine on her balcony. "These massive companies just destroy small businesses without a second thought. Technova especially. Their CEO is apparently some ruthless billionaire who doesn't care about the little people." Alex was unusually quiet. Maybe he has his reasons. "There's no excuse for being heartless," Maya said firmly. "Money and power change people. They forget what it's like to struggle." Alex stood abruptly. "I should go, early morning tomorrow." Maya watched him leave, confused by his sudden mood shift. That night she couldn't sleep. Something about Alex bothered her. On impulse, she Googled Alexander Chen Technova. Her laptop screen filled with images of a man in expensive suits at corporate events, shaking hands with politicians and celebrities. The same dark eyes, the same jawline, but this man looked cold, distant, nothing like her warm neighbor who laughed at bad movies and brought her coffee. Maya's hands shook as she stared at the screen. Her neighbor was Alexander Chen, the billionaire CEO, the man whose company had just destroyed her career. And he'd been lying to her for 3 months. Part 3, the confrontation. Maya didn't sleep that night. By dawn, she was furious. She pounded on Alex's door at 6 a.m. He opened it, looking rumpled and sleepy. "Maya, what's wrong?" "Who are you?" she demanded, pushing past him into his apartment. His place was sparse. A mattress on the floor, a laptop, some clothes. Nothing that screamed billionaire, but Maya wasn't fooled anymore. "Maya, I can explain." "Explain what? That you're Alexander Chen, the CEO of Technova, the company that just fired me." Her voice cracked. "Were you slumming? Is this some kind of game for rich people? Pretend to be normal and laugh at the poor girl next door." "No," Alex grabbed her shoulders. "Maya, please listen to me." "Don't touch me," she jerked away. "You lied about everything, who you are, what you do. You sat there and listened to me complain about your company, about you, and you said nothing." "I know," Alex's voice was raw. "I know I lied, but I had my reasons." "I don't care about your reasons." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I trusted you. I thought we were friends, maybe even more than friends." "We are," Alex said desperately. "Maya, everything between us was real. My feelings for you are real." "How can I believe anything you say?" Maya headed for the door. "Stay away from me, Mr. Chen. Go back to your mansion and your billions and leave me alone." She slammed the door, leaving Alex standing in his empty apartment, looking more alone than she'd ever seen him. For a week, Maya avoided Alex completely. She took different routes to work, ignored his texts, pretended not to hear when he knocked on her door. Then the envelope arrived. It was slipped under her door with no return address. Inside was a letter in Alex's handwriting and a USB drive. Maya asterisk. "I don't expect forgiveness, but you deserve the truth. The files on this drive will explain everything. After you read them, if you never want to see me again, I'll move out. You won't have to live next to someone you hate. But please know this. Meeting you was the best thing that's happened to me in 5 years. You reminded me who I was before the money and power. You made me feel human again. Whatever you decide, thank you for 3 months of actually being alive." "Alex." Maya stared at the USB drive for an hour before plugging it in. The files were revelation. 5 years ago, Alexander Chen had built Technova from nothing with his college roommate and best friend, David Park. They'd been equal partners, brothers in everything but blood. But as the company grew, David changed. He started making ruthless decisions, cutting corners, hurting people to maximize profits. Alex tried to stop him, tried to steer the company back to their original values, but David had the board's support. 6 months ago, everything came to a head. David had approved a hostile takeover of a family-owned software company, a move that would put 200 people out of work. Alex refused to sign off on it. "Then you're out," David had told him. "The board votes with me. You can either fall in line or step down." Alex chose to step down, but legally he was still the CEO in name. David was running things, using Alex's reputation and signature, while Alex had no real power. The letter from Technova that Maya had seen in his mail. It was from Alex's lawyers, fighting to legally separate him from the company. "I moved into this building," Alex had written in his note, "because I needed to disappear, to figure out who I am without Technova, to remember what it feels like to be just a person. Then I met you, and suddenly I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay in this life where I'm just Alex who drinks cheap coffee and watches bad movies with the most amazing woman I've ever met. Maya read the files 3 times, tears streaming down her face. The termination of her contract, that was David's decision, not Alex's. In fact, there was an email where Alex had explicitly argued against it, saying her work was exceptional and worth retaining. He'd fought for her, and she hadn't known. Maya knocked on Alex's door at midnight. He opened it immediately, like he'd been waiting. "I read everything," she said quietly. "I'm sorry I lied," Alex said. "I should have told you from the beginning, but I was scared. Scared that if you knew who I was, you'd see me differently, treat me differently. I wanted to be normal for once." Maya stepped into his apartment. "Your best friend betrayed you, took your company and destroyed everything you built. That's not normal, Alex. That's heartbreaking." "I've made peace with it," Alex said, but Maya could see the pain in his eyes. "No, you haven't." She took his hands. "You're hiding, running away instead of fighting back." "What am I supposed to do? David has the board, the lawyers, everything." "But he doesn't have your vision," Maya interrupted. "He doesn't have your integrity, and he doesn't have me." Alex looked at her in confusion. "What?" Maya pulled up her laptop, opening a file she'd been working on all week. "I did some research. David's been cutting costs by outsourcing to companies with questionable labor practices. He's buried it in the corporate reports, but it's there. If this went public, the board would have to act." "Maya, you can't get involved in this." "Too late, I already am." She showed him the expose she'd been writing. "I'm a designer, but I'm also a damn good researcher. And I have connections in tech journalism. This story gets out, David goes down, and you get your company back." Alex stared at her. "Why would you do this for me, after I lied to you?" "Because you're not the villain here, Alex. You're just a guy who got screwed over by someone he trusted." Maya smiled softly. "And because despite the lies, I know who you really are. I've seen you at 3 a.m. making terrible scrambled eggs. I've heard you laugh at ridiculous comedy specials. I've watched you help Mrs. Rodriguez carry her groceries up 4 flights of stairs when you thought no one was looking. That's who you are, Alex. Not the CEO, not the billionaire, just you." Alex pulled her into his arms, holding her like she might disappear. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not," Maya teased, "but you're stuck with me anyway." They stayed up all night, planning their strategy. By dawn, they had a plan. And for the first time in 6 months, Alex looked like he had hope. The article dropped on a Friday morning. Technova's dark secret: how acting CEO David Park's cost-cutting measures exploit workers worldwide. Maya had worked with a tech journalist named Rachel Kim, feeding her all the information Alex had compiled. The story went viral within hours. By noon, Technova's stock had dropped 15%. By evening, the board was calling an emergency meeting. David called Alex furious. "You did this. You're trying to sabotage me." "I didn't write the article," Alex said calmly. "But yes, I provided the information. You've been running our company into the ground, David, using my name to destroy everything we built." "Our company. It's MY Company now. You walked away." "You pushed me out," Alex corrected. "But legally, I'm still CEO, and I'm exercising my authority to call a vote of no confidence. The board meets Monday." Alex hung up and looked at Maya, who was listening from his couch. "I can't believe this is happening." "Believe it," Maya said. You're taking back what's yours. The weekend was torture. Alex paced his apartment, rehearsing his presentation to the board. Maya helped him prepare, pointing out weaknesses in his arguments, strengthening his case. On Sunday night, as they worked late, Alex suddenly stopped. "What's wrong?" Maya asked. "I just realized something," Alex said slowly. "Even if I win, even if I get Technova back, I don't know if I want it anymore." Maya set down her coffee. "What do you mean?" "These past 6 months living here, being just Alex, I've been happier than I was running a billion-dollar company." He looked at her. "Because I had time to think, to breathe, to fall in love." Maya's heart stopped. "Alex, I'm in love with you, Maya," he said simply. "I have been for months, and if getting Technova back means losing us, then I don't want it." Maya stood, crossing to him. "You're not losing me, you idiot. I'm in love with you too." "You are." "Why do you think I spent a week researching corporate malfeasance?" Maya laughed. "I don't do that for just anyone." Alex kissed her then, deep and desperate, and full of everything they'd both been holding back. "But you still need to fight for your company," Maya said when they finally broke apart. "Not because you need the money or the power, but because David is hurting people and you can stop him." Alex nodded. "Will you come with me tomorrow to the board meeting?" "I wouldn't miss it." The Technova Industries boardroom was intimidating, all glass and steel and expensive art. Alex walked in wearing a suit for the first time since Maya had known him. He looked like a different person, but when he squeezed her hand before entering, she knew he was still her Alex underneath. David was already there, looking confident and smug. The board members filed in 9 powerful people who would decide Technova's future. "Gentlemen, lady," Alex began, addressing the board. "6 months ago, I stepped down as active CEO because I fundamentally disagreed with the direction this company was taking. I thought by removing myself, I could avoid the ethical compromises being demanded of me. But I was wrong. By stepping aside, I enabled behavior that's now threatening everything we built. David has prioritized short-term profits over long-term sustainability, employee welfare, and basic human decency." He presented the evidence: the outsourcing to companies with labor violations, the cutting of safety protocols, the abandoned research programs that could have changed lives. David fought back. "These are business decisions. Sometimes you have to make tough choices." "Tough choices don't mean cruel choices," Alex interrupted. "We built this company on the idea that technology should improve lives, not exploit them." The board deliberated for 2 hours. Maya waited outside, packing, checking her phone every 30 seconds. Finally, Alex emerged. Maya couldn't read his expression. "Well." "David's out," Alex said quietly. "Effective immediately. They've asked me to return as CEO." Maya threw her arms around him. "Alex, that's amazing." But Alex didn't seem happy. He looked conflicted. "What's wrong?" "I told them I needed time to think about it," Alex said. "Because I meant what I said last night. I don't know if I want to go back to that life." "So what do you want?" Maya asked. Alex looked at her for a long moment. "I want to build something new, something better, with you." 6 months later, Maya stood in the empty office space on Fifth Avenue, imagining the possibilities. "What do you think?" Alex asked, coming up behind her. "I think it's perfect," Maya said. They'd made the decision together. Alex would return to Technova, but only as chairman of the board, setting strategy and values but not running day-to-day operations. That role went to a brilliant woman named Jennifer Santos, who shared their vision of ethical tech. This freed Alex to pursue his real passion, creating an incubator for small tech startups and design firms. A place where people like Maya could get funding, mentorship, and support without selling their souls to corporate interests. Chen Patel Innovation Lab, Alex said, gesturing to where the sign would go, has a nice ring to it. We're not married yet, Maya teased. Yet, Alex agreed, pulling a small box from his pocket. Maya's eyes widened. Alex, I know we've only been together 6 months, Alex said, dropping to one knee right there in the empty office. But I've never been more sure of anything. You saw me when I was nobody. You fought for me when I couldn't fight for myself. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Maya Patel, will you marry me? Maya was crying and laughing at the same time. You proposed in an empty office. I wanted our first official moment in our new business to be special, Alex grinned. You're ridiculous, Maya said. Yes, obviously yes. The ring was beautiful, a simple design that Maya recognized immediately. Wait, did you design this? I've been taking design classes online, Alex admitted. You inspired me. I wanted to create something with my own hands instead of just signing checks. Maya kissed him, not caring that they were in an empty office that smelled like paint and possibility. 1 year later, Maya and Alex got married on the rooftop of their apartment building, the place where they'd first really connected, watching sunsets and sharing dreams. The guest list was small and eclectic. Mrs. Rodriguez from 2A sat next to Jennifer Santos, Technova's new CEO. Maya's family mixed with Alex's. David Park wasn't invited, but they'd heard he'd landed on his feet with another tech firm. Some people never learned. You know what's funny? Maya said as they danced their first dance. 1.5 years ago, I thought you were just my weird neighbor who worked from home. And now, Alex asked. Now you're my weird husband who works from the office next to mine, Maya grinned. Not sure that's an improvement. Hey, I brought bagels this morning, Alex protested. You brought bagels every morning when you were trying to win me back, Maya pointed out. Don't think I've forgotten the great apology bagel campaign of last year. It worked, didn't it? Yeah, Maya softened. It did. As they swayed to the music, Maya thought about the journey that had brought them here. The lies and revelations, the betrayal and redemption, the fear and courage. Do you ever regret it? Alex asked quietly. Getting involved with all my drama, your life would have been simpler if you just stayed away from the mysterious neighbor. Simpler maybe, Maya said, but not better, not even close. 2 years after their wedding, Maya stood in the innovation lab, reviewing portfolios for their latest batch of applicants. The space had grown, 3 floors now, hosting 40 different startups and design firms. Maya, her assistant, knocked on the door. There's someone here to see you, says it's important. A young woman entered, nervous and hopeful. She couldn't be more than 22. Ms. Patel, I'm Sophia Rodriguez. I live in your old building, apartment 3B. Maya smiled. Mrs. Rodriguez's granddaughter. Yes, she told me about you and Mr. Chen, how you met in that building, how you helped him when he was going through a hard time. Sophia pulled out a tablet. I'm a designer. and I have this idea for an app that helps people find affordable housing. But every investor I've pitched to says it's not profitable enough." Maya looked at the designs. They were brilliant, intuitive, compassionate, focused on solving real problems instead of maximizing revenue. "What made you come here?" Maya asked. "My grandmother said that you and Mr. Chen believe in helping people, not just making money. She said you remember what it's like to struggle." Sophia's eyes were bright with unshed tears. "I'm about to lose my apartment. I work 3 jobs and still can't afford rent. But I know this app could help millions of people like me. I just need someone to give me a chance." Maya saw herself in this young woman. The same determination, the same fear, the same desperate hope that someone would believe in her vision. "Tell you what," Maya said. "Come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bring your full business plan. You'll pitch to me and my husband together. If we like what we see, we'll fund your first year and provide office space here in the lab." Sophia's face lit up. "Really, just like that?" "Just like that," Maya confirmed. "Everyone deserves a chance, Sophia. Someone gave me one when I needed it most. Now it's my turn to pay it forward." After Sophia left, Alex came into Maya's office. "I heard you just took on a new project." "Mrs. Rodriguez's granddaughter," Maya explained. "She's brilliant, Alex. Reminds me of myself a few years ago, full of ideas but no resources." Alex pulled Maya into his arms. "You know what I love about you? You never forgot where you came from, even with all of this." He gestured to their successful business. "You still remember what it's like to be the struggling designer in apartment 3B. "How could I forget?" Maya said. "That's where I met my mysterious neighbor, the guy who turned my whole world upside down." "Best decision I ever made, moving into that building," Alex said. "Second best," Maya corrected, pulling out her phone to show him the ultrasound photo. "The best decision is about to arrive in 6 months." Alex stared at the image, then at Maya, his eyes filling with tears. "We're having a baby." "We're having a baby," Maya confirmed. Alex lifted her off her feet, spinning her around the office while Maya laughed. "We're going to need a bigger apartment." "We can afford it now," Maya teased. "Maybe," Alex said, setting her down gently. "But I kind of like the idea of raising our kid in a normal building, not some penthouse or mansion, somewhere with actual neighbors and community. Somewhere like 447 Riverside Drive." "Mrs. Rodriguez would love being a surrogate grandmother," Maya agreed. They stood together, looking out the window at the city below. Somewhere out there, another struggling creative was working late in a small apartment, dreaming of their big break. Another person was hiding from their past, hopping to find themselves again. Another unlikely pair was meeting for the first time, not knowing they were about to change each other's lives. "You know what's wild?" Maya said. "If David hadn't pushed you out, you never would have moved into that building. We never would have met." "I should send him a thank you card," Alex joked. "Don't you dare," Maya laughed. As the sun set over the city, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold, Alex pulled Maya close. "I love you, Mrs. Chen." "I love you too, Mr. My neighbor was the CEO," Maya said. They stood there, wrapped in each other's arms, grateful for every twist of fate that had brought them together. The lies and the truth, the struggle and the success, the simple apartment and the corporate empire. Because sometimes, the person who changes your life forever is living right next door. You just have to be brave enough to knock on their door and say hello. The elevator at 447 Riverside Drive still creaked. The hallway still smelled faintly of Mrs. Rodriguez's cooking. And apartment 3B was once again home to a young professional with big dreams and a tight budget. But now, the owner of the entire building was Maya and Alex Chen. They'd bought it 2 years ago, not as an investment property, but as a legacy. They kept rents affordable, offered flexible payment plans for struggling tenants, and created a community fund to help residents pursue their dreams. Their daughter, Grace Chen, age 4, ran down the hallway toward apartment 3C, now their weekend home, kept exactly as it was when Alex first moved in. "Daddy's apartment," Grace squealed, pushing open the door. The sparse room had been transformed into a family space. Photos on the walls, toys in the corner, but still maintaining the simplicity that Alex had loved about it. "This is where Mommy and Daddy fell in love," Maya told Grace, picking her up. "Tell the story again," Grace demanded. Alex sat on the floor, pulling both his girls into his lap. "Once upon a time, there was a man who had everything: money, power, success, but he wasn't happy." "Why not, Daddy?" "Because he was alone," Alex continued. "So he moved to a small apartment building, hopping to find himself again. And next door there was a brilliant artist named Maya." "That's Mommy," Grace interrupted. "That's right, and Mommy taught Daddy something very important. Do you know what it was?" Grace thought hard. "That love is more important than money." Maya and Alex exchanged a smile. "Exactly right, baby girl." As Grace played with her toys, Maya leaned against Alex, looking around the small apartment that had started everything. "No regrets?" Alex asked softly. "Not a single one," Maya replied. Their phone buzzed, a message from Jennifer at Technova. The company was thriving under her leadership, more profitable and more ethical than ever. David Park's new venture had failed spectacularly, while Technova continued to grow. But that felt like another lifetime now, a story that belonged to someone else. Here in apartment 3C, Alex wasn't a billionaire CEO. He was just a dad playing blocks with his daughter, a husband holding his wife, a neighbor who remembered what really mattered. "You know what I realized," Alex said. "Everyone's looking for success, for achievement, for the next big thing. But sometimes the best thing in your life is already right next door. You just have to be brave enough to see it." Maya kissed him softly. "When did you get so wise?" "I had a good teacher," Alex said. "A designer from apartment 3B who saw past all my walls and decided I was worth fighting for." As the evening sun streamed through the windows of their small apartment, Grace's laughter filling the room, Maya and Alex held each other close. They'd gone from neighbors to soulmates, from lies to truth, from loneliness to love. They'd built an empire, raised a daughter, and changed countless lives through their innovation lab. But this simple moment in a small apartment with the people they loved most, this was their greatest success. Because in the end, the best investment Alexander Chen ever made wasn't in technology or business or real estate. It was knocking on his neighbor's door and asking if she wanted to share a cup of coffee. Everything else was just a beautiful consequence of that one brave moment. The end.